scones, you're gonna need for the dry ingredients, sorry, my cats are also in this video in the background and on the table. You're gonna need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a half a cup of sugar, a tablespoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon salt, 1 stick of butter. I used a vegan butter substitute, but you could use regular butter. The trick is you want it to be cold and you're gonna cut it into small cubes. And then I did a half a cup of raspberries and a half a cup of rhubarb from our garden that I chopped into small chunks, as well as a 1/4 cup of dark chocolate chips. You could also use white chocolate if you prefer that. Then for the wet ingredients, you need a half a cup of sourdough starter. I used Fed Active Starter, a large egg, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 3 tablespoons of almond milk. You could also replace the almond milk with regular milk or cream, whichever you have. And then for the topping, to make the scones golden brown, I did 1 egg with 1 tablespoon of water. So what you want to pause for the cats going a little bit crazy. Okay, so to make these scones, you're gonna need 2 bowls, 1 for the dry ingredients, a large bowl, and then 1 for the wet ingredients. So for the dry ingredients, you're gonna start with those. You're gonna put the flour in the bowl and you're gonna add the cubed butter. Then you wanna cut that into the flour with either a pastry cutter or a fork until it becomes crumbly. Then stir in the sugar, the baking powder, and the salt. Mix that together. And lastly, stir in your mix-ins. So your raspberries, your rhubarb chunks, and your chocolate chips. Set that aside. Let's start the wet ingredients in a second bowl. So in the second bowl, you're gonna have your sourdough starter, your egg, your vanilla extract, and your milk or your cream, and mix those together. Then, as you saw in the video, you're gonna add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients until you have a dough. Once that dough is formed, cover it in plastic wrap, and then I put it in the fridge because I really wanted to let the sourdough culture work on the flour, really making it better for your digestive system. So I let it rest in my fridge for about 8 to 12 hours. You could also do it overnight so that the scones are ready to bake in the morning. Once the dough has rested, spread it out into a larger circle and cut it into 8 triangles. Put those onto a baking sheet. I had my baking sheet lined with a Silpat, but you could also use parchment paper if you prefer. And then in a small bowl, you mix together the 1 egg and the tablespoon of water, and you brush that over the top of the the top of the scones. So then you're gonna bake it. I did 400 degrees, about 20 minutes. Keep your eye on it because every oven's a little bit different until they're golden brown. And that's all there is to it. And I hope you enjoy.